All right, what's going on, you guys? Brian here with my quick recap and thoughts on last night's Ring of Honor Best in the World 2019. Of course, Best in the World 2019 happened last night in Baltimore, Maryland. So let's just get right into this quick recap. Running everything down, we had the kickoff show match, which was Rush defeating Flip Gordon. A pretty dominant performance by Rush last night. So big victory for him in a really good match that was pretty much all Rush last night. Now to the main show itself, we had Dalton Castle basically using this match as a statement sender to Rush. He defeated Dragon Lee, Rush's brother, in a match last night using Rush's own move. After hitting the Bangarang, Dalton Castle would then proceed to hit the Bull's Horns on Dragon Lee, and that is what picked up the victory for Dalton Castle. Another good matchup, I thought, in my opinion. We also had the Allure taking on Jenny Rose and Women of Honor World Champion Kelly Klein. This one, not so much. I didn't think it was all that great. The Allure, Angelina Love and Mandy Leon, who were the representatives in this matchup, they picked up the victory when Angelina pinned Kelly Klein. Like I said, the matchup was not all that great. In my opinion, nothing against them, but it was not that great. After this match, we saw the debut of the Man-Eater Maria Manic, who made a debut last night. She wound up beating up security, and that was pretty much it. So we'll have to wait and see what Maria Manic, the Man-Eater, does in the Women of Honor division. I do have to do some research on her. I don't know a lot about Maria Manic. I haven't seen. Anytime there's a debut, I always try to do research on them and see, what they do in the ring to see how they are in the ring. So we had the final match of the Best of 3 series between Kenny King and Jay Lethal. Kenny King wound up picking up the victory in this one. One question heading into this one is, who was the best? Who was the better one? How would they one-up each other? Both men hit, the other person's finishing move. Jay Lethal hit the Royal Flush on Kenny King. That only scored him a 2 count. Kenny King hit the Lethal Injection on Jay Lethal, and then he would wind up hitting the Royal Flush on Jay Lethal. That was what scored the win for him. We saw in the Pure Rules match, or Pure Wrestling Rules match, Silas Young taking on Jonathan Gresham. Gresham picked up the win in this one with a low blow. After the referee was fixing the apron of the ring, Gresham used a Silas Young tactic, hitting Silas with a low blow and then locking in the octopus stretch, and that is what scored him the victory last night. I was a little confused about the rules of the Pure Rules match, so I had to look them up. Basically, if they ended up on the outside of the ring, they had a 20 count to get back in the ring. If they had 3 rope breaks apiece that they could use, otherwise they would not be able to get a rope break after they used up all 3. They could not punch each other, and they could not use closed fists or closed punches to the face. And if they used closed punches, One one time would be a warning. The second time would be an automatic disqualification. So it was okay. It played to the rules of the match, but nothing really that I would recommend seeing as far as that one is concerned. We had the Briscoes versus Nick Aldis and the NWA's newest signee, Eli Drake, who announced on the kickoff show, or they announced on the kickoff show that he had was the NWA's newest signing. So that is a huge signing for the National Wrestling Alliance as far as that company is concerned. So they teamed together, him and Nick Aldis, to take on the Briscoes. Good match overall. Nothing really special. There was no winner. It was a draw. The Briscoes wound up leaving Nick Aldis laying after putting him through a table. Marty Scurll would come out to help Nick Aldis to his feet, and he would leave the ring. Eli Drake, near the end of this match, would wind up getting into a brawl with James Storm, who was not very happy not being picked to be Nick Aldis' partner during the kickoff show. So he was at commentary, and I think it was Eli Drake and Jay Briscoe ended up fighting near the broadcast booth, and Eli spit water, and it missed Briscoe, but I think it hit James Storm, and they started going at it. They wound up fighting to the back. The Briscoes then, like I said, would turn their attention to Aldis. They would beat up security that tried to stop them, and then wound up putting Nick Aldis through a table with the froggy elbow. We had Shane Taylor. He retained the Ring of Honor World Television title over Bandito. And what I thought was a really good match, I thought Bandito, I mean, he is, you know, he might be fast, but he is also strong. I mean, Shane Taylor in this matchup was on the middle rope. He was looking to going to go for something, but Bandito caught him and you know, held him and hit a power slam on him for a near fall. But in the end, it was, like I said, Shane Taylor with his finishing move. I think it was the Greetings from the 216 or something like that. Or something like that. It basically was a version of Bam Bam Bigelow's Greetings from Asbury finishing move that picked up the win for Shane Taylor and retained him the television championship. Then we had Villain Enterprises, PCO, Brody King, and Marty Scurll retained their Ring of Honor World Six-Man Tag Team Championships over Lifebloods, Mark Haskins and Tracy Williams, and their tag team partner, PJ Black. After the match, the Soldiers of Savagery, they would come out, they would attack Haskins and Williams. Bandito, who is also part of Lifeblood, he would come out to make the save. Bully Ray would come out. Flip Gordon would come out and chase off Bully Ray. And then they would make it look like Flip Gordon was joining Lifeblood. They handed him a shirt. He put it on. The lights would go out. Marty Scurll would appear on the Tron saying congratulations to Lifeblood for getting a new member. But he didn't want to rain on their parade because it's the same night that they got a new member. He also got a new member of Villain Enterprises. He would then announce the newest member, the Mercenary, and then the camera would pan out, and who was standing next to Marty on the Tron? None other than Flip Gordon. So then when the lights came back up, Flip would just would super kick Bandito. He would then when Haskins and Williams went after him, he would get out of the ring. Here come the other members of Villain Enterprises and they basically beat down Haskins and Williams. They wound up putting Williams through a table. Flip Gordon did a 450, and basically they left Williams, Haskins, and Bandito Lifeblood laying. So there is a new member after weeks of who was going to get Flip Gordon. In a surprise turn of events, Villain Enterprises got Flip Gordon. So Flip Gordon is now a member of Villain Enterprises, and so who is going to be able to stop those four now? But we'll have to wait and see what happens with that whole turn of events. Which brings us to the main event, or which brings me to the main event. It was Matt Taven ending the undefeated streak of Jeff Cobb with the spiked climax. I thought it was a really good match. It seemed short because I guess because they were running long on the show, and Taven countered the Tour of the Islands by Jeff Cobb into the spiked climax, and that was pretty much it. So Matt Taven is still the Ring of Honor World Champion, retaining last night at Best in the World 2019, and ending the undefeated streak of Jeff Cobb. So overall, my thoughts to wrap up this video, my overall thoughts on last night's Ring of Honor Best in the World 2019. Thought it was a good show. I was surprised to see Flip Gordon joining Villain Enterprises. But overall, I thought it was a really good show. There was, some good matches on here. Nothing really special. Nothing that I would say to check this one out. I did think it was a good show, but, it is what it is. So with that in mind, with that being said, for those of you that watched Best in the World last night, let me know what you guys thought of it in the comments below. So this has been my recap of what happened last night at Ring of Honor's Best in the World 2019. As always, I am Brian, and thank you for watching.